ads for you?
No.
Okay. So it's better for you to check because every time I go there, it show me ads and I cannot turn off the volume while the ads is showing. It's ridiculous.
But I told you, put headphones on.
Even that, you still hear it.
Okay. So let's see.
So I don't want to go there unless like
So we're streaming now. Just well, let me see if I can see it on live edu. My computer is dying again. Okay, yeah, seeing great,
all right.
looking good.
Can you
Uh,
open up a SSH session for me?
yeah, just 1 second. Twitch is also showing up. All right, so let's tweet this out, and let me open. Okay, so you can SSH in.
Done. Not done. Done.
Okay, just give your screen a little bit more space.
Can I? What if I zoom out?
Yeah, just zoom out.
Better?
Yeah, let
Is
me
that
see.
better?
Let me see. Yeah, this is good. This is okay. We'll have to live with that. This is okay.
Well, at least this time it's smooth.
Yeah. All right. So I tweeted this out. So we are now officially live.
Cool.
Okay. Awesome. So I think we figured out the stream this time without interruptions. I think the settings that live edu support gave us the last time,
Mm-hmm.
with the bitrate and the and the delays, they come out pretty good.
Okay.
And I think the stream um, is now pretty good. I mean, at least from what I can see, it's showing up. That's already a big improvement over last time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so all right. So we are. So first of all, as always, good evening, Stevens.
What?
And
Good evening.
oh, you know what? I didn't hit record, so just a sec. So
Oh,
let me
good.
record. Great. So good evening, Stevens.
Good
Uh,
evening, Tommy.
we are on session number 12
Yes.
of our live streaming. Already like dozens of hours of content. So what we
Yeah,
have
we
about
have
18 hours of content, of like live programming.
we have
Um,
1,600 views and 738 reads on our Medium posts,
yeah,
so not bad.
it's looking good. So Dimitri J94 is saying, I see that the tutoring sessions are going strong. So I wouldn't call it tutoring sessions. It's more pair programming of engineers. But yeah, it's going strong. We like it, and hope you like it too, and keep coming back and asking questions. So, like I said, we are on session 12. Oh, one thing that is worth mentioning here is that now, if you watch the stream, you can actually see the questions that people are asking as well, which is pretty neat.
What do you mean?
Um,
Oh, I could
yeah, you can see
USB.
the on the right side,
Yeah.
above the webcam, you can see the questions that people are asking, and um, it I think it gives people more context on what's going on.
Yeah.
So like I said, we are on session number 12, and the last session was kind of a one-off, and that session kind of revolved around a problem that you specifically experienced,
Yep.
which is your Docker container was terminating connections when it's coming through a SSL connection.
Yep.
So even just like going into the Docker and doing a curl HTTPS something something failed.
Yes.
Um, so you asked for the last session to basically revolve around that problem. So we debugged it together, and we came up with solution which actually pointed to a bug in Docker for Mac.
Yes.
So that's a very interesting thing to look at, and it was definitely a very interesting session, and I think it brings a lot of value to people on how to debug problems and look at problems, and just generally kind of the way that you go about like solving problems. So that was a fun little session, and today we're basically back to our regular show, I guess. So
Last session was a special session.
yeah, so before the last session, what we've basically done is the part with compiling the Lambda function and deploying that Lambda function to Amazon.
Yes.
And that was a very interesting session as well, because we saw, all right, so how are we going to connect, or how are we going to compile a JS library that is that depends on native extensions, and that library is gonna be uploaded to Lambda. So how are we doing that if we're on a Mac or if we're on a Windows machine? So how do we make sure that we can do that and upload it to Lambda, and kind of be relatively sure that it's working? So we did that, and long story short, we're basically working. If we go back to session number 9, maybe we can see the architecture.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the kind of the new architecture that we landed on, and what we can see here is that we have an API gateway, and we have a couple of Lambda functions, and we have S3 and so on and so forth. So we did a part of this architecture. We did the part that is the Lambda function that's supposed to grab the request from the API gateway, and then do the work on the image, compress the image, do whatever it needs to do, and then return the results back to the client or to the server or to whoever kind of requested that. And the idea is to basically do an image resizer on the fly type of thing.
Yep.
Um,
I think we've uploaded to S3, but we haven't got to the testing part yet because there needs to be like a policy and stuff that hasn't been done yet.
So the thing is that we did this. We tested it on S3,
Oh,
but we haven't. Yes, but we haven't tested it with like a full um, like a full loop with through the API gateway and so on.
Okay.
So the question comes to mind is, and I think it's worth to actually um, open source. Just 1 second here. So let's do creative.network.client, and let's have another one on the creative network server here. And so what is it? Yarn start. What is it? Vim package. Just I can't even remember how we run this project. Yarn start. Yes. So let's do yarn start here, and let's also do yarn start on this project. And let's hope I don't have any Docker containers running, so we can start it up right away. So just to what happened? Oh, cd open source creative network client and yarn start, and the same here. All right, so this is building and this is starting, so we can kind of see what we have so far. Localhost, was it 8080? What was it? Yes, 8080. So let it run for a second, and let's see what's going on here. Okay, this is still building here. In the meantime, we have about 4 people on live edu, and I don't know how many on Twitch. Seems like 1 on Twitch. This is a very interactive session. It's not like, we just code and you watch and that's about it. I mean, feel free to be active and ask questions, not only on what we're doing and how we're doing it, but more general questions if you want. It's totally cool.
Sure.
So let's do refresh here. All right, so there is the Creative Network client, and it is connecting to our Creative Network server, which is done with GraphQL. So we can actually see this part here.
Kitten.
So let's look at the network. And let's refresh here, and we'll see the request for the there it is. So GraphQL here. So you can see the response here with data and all topics. So data and then all topics, and then each topic has an ID, has a description, has tags, and so on and so forth. So we have that client working, and we have that GraphQL part already working, but clearly a lot of the things are missing. Things like, by the way, those images are seriously low quality. I mean, it's just incredible how low quality those images are.
Yeah, but they're really nice kitten pictures.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like it's disturbing to watch. It's just. I mean, the thing is that The thing is like supposed to be 220 and 240, but this is kind of stretching it, and I'm not sure which part is stretching it. I think it's the CSS here for the link.
It's gonna give us a different kitten every time we refresh, right? It's pretty cool. We've seen like 5 kitten already.
Yeah, so Napcats on Twitch is saying you can try sourcing your images from Unsplash. I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. Anyway, this is mock data,
Do they
so
have like kitten pictures?
well, I mean, they probably have. Maybe they have a random. Let's see what we have here. Photo. How can I get like a feed? You know what? That may be like a nice thing to maybe get a feed of um, their
No
images,
API.
like a feed,
Have an
a
API.
JSON feed of their images, and then try and source this feed. Maybe
Oh, they do
they
have an API documentation.
maybe they have. So there it is, unsplash.it. Thank you, Napcats. Let's see what they have here. Oh, okay, yeah. So there it is. So you can get this and then 200 over 300.
Oh, very interesting.
But it's always the same
No kitten.
image.
Always same image. No kitten.
Um,
No, the kitten's better.
so this is random. So if you do random, you get a random one. So let's append
Do random.
random here. Yeah, and we get a random one. So
Oh, that's much better.
so just for Napcats, let's do that. Um, so let's do mocks here. Oh, it's on the server actually. So let's do this here. And let's go ahead. Napcast, this is just for you. So data and then mocks. Yeah, but I know you don't mind the cats, but I do. It's like the images are so low quality. It's insane. All right. So this is the thumbnail here. And the thing is, the image keeps changing in dimensions in relative to kind of the whether we're in mobile mode or not. Let's pop this out just 1 second. So let's pop it out here. And let's see what we have here. So this is, let's say 250 over 280. Great. So let's go back here and change this to 250 over 280 random. And let's refresh here. And not working. So let's see what's going on. Oh, it's failing to load. Okay, cool. We still get the same image, by the way. This is something weird, but anyway. I think one thing that so here we can do
Oh, let's do it like a timestamp, like a
yeah.
random.
Yeah, anything to just make the browser say this is a different image.
What's I? Oh,
I is the index here.
got it. That's interesting. That's smart.
Yeah, let's see if the browser will react to that. So we'll let it refresh. Okay, so now that we're past our kitten imagery, let's so we that's our client, and as you can see, well, now you can see, but when the image when the server refreshes, oh man,
Something's broken.
no, it's my computer. It's just suffering.
Yeah, why is your computer so slow? We're not doing screen sharing anymore.
I don't know, software update. What the hell is updating?
Close it. 83%. Whoa.
I don't know what software update is. All right, so now it looks very good, right? So you see that it looks very good. There is the occasional breakage here, but we're gonna fix that.
Wow.
Um,
Nice images.
yeah, those are very nice images. Um, so this is our client, and we can see our tags and everything is working. So thank you, Napcat, from Twitch, for that Unsplash suggestion. It definitely makes this app look nicer. Um, so um, we kind of did the very basic of the app, and then we jumped to the upload. And I told you it's gonna be a rabbit hole with all of the stuff that it needs to do.
Yeah.
And I think if we go further down this rabbit hole, we're not gonna, we're gonna find ourselves, in 2 or 3 sessions, still in that rabbit hole. So the thing is, I think we should kind of recap here and figure out whether this is, one thing I do want to, just 1 second here. So this is two. Um, so I think it's definitely worth to discuss what do we want to do next, like the immediate next steps.
Okay.
We definitely need the upload, right? We definitely need, um, a different way to kind of handle the resize, and a different way to handle, um, the requesting of the images and so on and so forth. But I don't think it's worth our time to handle that part now, and focus more on the DevOps side of things rather than working more on the client side.
I see. So you
Um,
think it's time, it's a good time for us to shift back to the client side?
well, first of all, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying it's worth a discussion. And I think the discussion is important, and people in the chat room feel free to participate here. Um, the thing is that we are at a point where we don't really have anything complete. So the client side is not complete. We don't have the server side is not complete because everything is mocked.
Hmm.
The client side is not complete because, um, we don't have the details page, for example.
Hmm.
We don't even have the upload button here.
That's true.
So the client side is not complete on that. At least the client side is communicating with a real API, so that's a good thing. Um, and then, like I said, the server side is not complete because we don't have a database yet. We haven't made the decision on the database. We literally like left everything hanging in the air. And then we have this kind of black hole of, yes, we need an image pipeline. We know we need that. We know it's like one of the main parts of the product, and it's also a very interesting product to work on in its own. And it has everything you want to learn. It has Terraform, it has Lambda, it has JavaScript, it has, working with a lot of like infrastructure on the Amazon side. So it has a lot of kind of moving parts and a lot of things. But what I'm saying is, you can easily fall into that head
Yeah,
first,
I
and
see.
and then not handle the rest of your product, um, and it's gonna be distracting. So
No, I agree. Like, because this architecture can easily be a black hole that can suck up like several sessions of time without us feeling the momentum of moving forward.
yeah,
Um, so I think it's actually a good idea to like make the client to go back to the client side. because then we since we already got an idea how we're gonna do this, if we have the client side more ready, you will be you probably feel much better.
Yeah. So definitely, I definitely agree on that. Um, the question is, what do you um, want to work on? What do you want to work on next?
So why don't we just
By the way, Dimitri from Live EDU says, "Love your stream. It's so informative and good. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate that a lot." Yeah, go, Stevens.
why don't we just start building the photo upload interface? Since we were working on the photo upload feature, if we have the client side ready,
No,
you
no,
know,
but here's the deal, right? And and you need to think now, and this is this is an exercise, right? And again, I mean, for us, because this is you know I don't want to say it's going nowhere, but what I'm saying is that this there's no deadline here, so it's an exercise in like differentiating between what's important and what you want to work on. What I'm saying is you get carried into the upload feature. And I get it. It's interesting because we architected it in a way that is interesting to you and appealing to you. And I totally get that. But what I'm saying is look at this right now from a different point of view on what should we work on now and not what do we want to work on now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you look at the product now, you know what we have on the server, you know what we have on the client. You look at the product, you say, okay, what do we want to do next? What do we need to do next in order to really take this product one step forward? Because if we do the upload, we take one step to the right. If we do the upload architecture type of thing on the Lambda, Amazon, DevOps, Terraform, we take one step left, right? And yesterday with the Docker, we took one step backward, right? So I'm saying, what makes us take one step forward, right? We took steps left, we took steps right. I'm actually doing the other side, but we took step right, we took step left. Everything is fine. We saw we can take steps right and left. Question is, what do we need to do to take a step forward?
so we should probably complete the homepage then.
Okay, what's missing in our homepage?
Um,
It's not a quiz.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to think. Like, so that would depends because we only have the mock for the homepage, right? Like, we don't know yet. Like, for example, we know we're gonna have a comment section. We're gonna have like a section where people can like tag. Well, the tagging. So I'm trying to think here, right? So the core of the product is to allow people to upload photo and to able to tag different
Well,
objects.
this is the core product for the producers.
Okay.
We also have consumers.
So for the consumer,
Hmm.
you know, so we're still missing the tags and the comments, I think. And then we're still missing the user part, but the user part will be decided on the backend. So from the client side perspective, I think at least the obvious ones that's missing is the comment section.
Comments where?
So the question is, do we want to have comments in the homepage or in the individual topic page?
I think we need to have a count in the homepage, and then individual pages will have the actual comment.
The count of the comments?
Yeah, like here you'll have 12 with like a count, and like a comment icon, and then when you click this and you go to the topic page, you go to the item page, then you see the entire like comment text.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a like button and a count of comment. What do you think about that?
Um, sure. I mean, why not? Let's go, Mishuga. We can we
Uh,
can we can have a like button and comments. We can have comment and then a module. But what I'm like right now, I don't want to say frustration, but the thing that's preventing me from like flowing is that we're in this weird state
yes.
of nothing is totally complete. And I think from now on, moving forward, what we need to do is we need to take one thing and complete it all the way through. Um,
Right.
so, for example, the first thing I would do now is to go to the server side, go back to the server side, and add a database.
Okay.
And once we have a database, then we can kind of work with the real GraphQL and real data, and insert kind of real data into the database, and then do the real interaction. So like add comments, make sure GraphQL can pull them, and then kind of see how the page interacts. And then if we want to do a like, then we do a like all the way through from the client side to the server side and so on and so forth. Um,
I see what you mean. So we want to have like complete working feature.
yeah, I mean that's what I would do. That's what I would think.
Okay.
Um,
So why don't we just do that? Why don't we just add a database? That makes sense. Let's stop working with like
all
mock
right,
data on the JSON object. Let's have like real database we can interact with.
all right. So let's go back to our notes. People joining me now on whether on live edu or Twitch. I am pasting a link that will kind of explain what we're doing and with a history of all the posts. So first, feel free to go there and kind of see what we're doing. And second, I just want to stress that this is not just us coding here or me explaining or anything like that, and you just watching and consuming. Do really feel free to participate, and ask questions and come up with suggestions. This is more about the interaction and less about just coding and just like spitting out code. Um, so let's go back to, and I literally don't remember when it was. And I mean, look at this. This is like we need to go all the way back to like session 6 or session 7 in order to kind of see what we've
Setting up
done.
GraphQL.
Yeah, so I think it's session 6. So for 5 sessions now, we literally didn't touch the initial product. So this is obviously bad. This is obviously says we deviated from what we should have worked on.
Okay.
Um, all right. So and actually, this is even not the part where we talk about um, where
You
we
see,
talk about
this is a bug in Medium. It
the
doesn't show you every post.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. It's like
Yeah,
where are my
yeah.
posts?
I realized this bug. It's a bug.
Oh,
Look,
you know what? This is I think this is me.
maybe you
Um,
didn't.
I think this is my problem
You
here.
show everything.
So you see, this is the problem. So you see 7, and then maybe you need to do
Dude, just do like as many as possible.
no. But what I'm saying is, so latest stories in tag.
You need to
Uh,
go to like
oh,
25 or
you
something.
need you need to do list. No, the question is where. How do I do paging? Anyway, let's do a feed here. Where is a feed? It was just there.
Stream is fine.
Yes. It was stream. So let's do like, I don't know, 20. All right. And this is featured. Nah, let's remove this. Remove. Save. Okay. So where are we? Okay, good. So now we can see that. So we what I'm looking for. First of all, let me just address a question. Nepcats is asking on Twitch, what is the motivation behind the project? So Stevens, you want to talk a bit about that while I look
Yeah, sure.
at the architecture?
So basically, the idea is we want to build this website. We call it the Creative Network. It's meant for people to share images of their DIY projects, such as their homemade office or their battle station, computer setups. So we want to have a platform where people can post the pictures, people can have a discussion about like these project they do, and for the posters to be able to link different e-commerce sites where they can purchase these objects. And then we want to kind of have the poster to be able to kind of have a ability to have a revenue share if people actually end up purchasing these goods that they showed off in their postings, right? So basically that's the core of the idea is and the one of the source of the motivation is that we see people sharing the photos of their battle stations so all over the different platforms. I don't know, like Pinterest, Reddit, and Imager. It seems like this is something people love to do. Like they want to show like how they build their battle stations, and people other people who are have similar interests, they keep asking, hey, where did you get this part, how did you install that part, it's like a lot of interaction between that, and we feel like there's just none of this platform is built for this purpose, right? It seems like people like we've seen individuals that for the same project they will share it across different platforms, and these platforms are not really good for this purpose. So the idea is we will want to build a platform explicitly for this purpose, and potentially to have the poster to be able to have a little bit income if they end up inspiring others to build similar projects, using the things that they use, right? And they can bring business for e-commerce sites that sell this stuff. So I guess that was the original motivation for this. So if I miss anything, Avi, you can feel free to add.
Um, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is definitely the kind of premise behind the product. But I think the really more than anything, if we get kind of deep into the personals here, then Stevens and I used to work together in the same company. I was a senior architect, and Stevens a junior engineer, and we worked together a lot. And since I left the company and moved to another company, we talked about how do we make sure that Stevens continues his development in his career in a way that is not only dictated by the product he's working on.
Yep.
And I think one of the best things to work on if you want to develop yourself is to work on a seriously over-engineered product. So so like the most over-engineered product in the history of mankind is really what could have been just an Express app and database, became a React and microservices and GraphQL and Lambda and Terraform and doing DevOps and stuff like that. So really the motivation behind it beyond the product itself, which is nice, but we're not building a startup here. We're just like building it for the sake of building it.
Yep.
um, the idea is to really brush up on things that you don't get to do in the day to day, and just work on things that interest you. And this is why um, I don't want to say I let, but this is why we kind of get creative in a way that we discuss that. Hey, what do we want to do next? And you know what? If you have a problem with something with Docker, then yeah, let's solve it and let's stream it. Because if you have value from it and other people in your position have value from it, then it's a win-win situation. So this is definitely kind of, for me, this is definitely the more important thing, because career development is hard if you only dictate it by the product you're working on from 9 to 5 or from 9 to 7:30 or whatever. Um, so definitely that. So this was a long answer at Napcats. I hope it kind of answers and satisfies you. Um, all right. So we kind of set our minds on doing the server side, or do we? I mean, what do you wanna? How do you feel? What do you wanna do?
Yeah, man. Like, just do what you think is the best thing to do. I think setting up the database is a great idea. Let's just do it.
Okay. Um. Okay. So I don't remember where I can't find the post where we kind of laid out the foundation for the architecture.
We don't
Uh,
have
no, but what I mean is kind of what we discussed on what the architecture will be, whether it's going to be Postgres or
it.
anything like that. But I don't think we have that as well. Um,
Probably the first one or the second one.
yeah, but I don't see it. So anyway, let's let's skip it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Something on Medium is weird where um they don't have like pagination. I'm trying to kind of find where pagination is. Maybe we didn't post for session one, although it seems odd to me.
Session one is from you. You have a session one.
I do.
Yeah, it's after we posted to the publication. After we posted session two. That's why.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so we did the publication.
Yeah,
Um,
it's after session two. So it doesn't.
okay, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's the
So
one.
here is the session one. Um, okay, so back then we said Ruby on Rails. We kind of set up on doing Node.js. Um, and database, we said either it's Postgres or, well, I don't know why we put Redis and Elasticsearch here. But
Well, we're gonna have a search feature eventually. So
yeah, we're gonna have a search feature eventually. So we can do Postgres, or we can do MongoDB. Really up to you.
let's try Mongo. Mongo will be interesting.
Oh
I
shit.
mean, I know you had a history with Mongo. Don't look. Don't judge. Okay, you cannot discriminate just because you had a history with Mongo and brought up horror stories and horror memories. um,
Oh man, no.
yeah, but
No, this is crazy.
what's crazy?
No, I don't want to do Mongo. Let's do Postgres.
Oh come on! All right, up to you. I'll respect your decision.
All right, quick poll. People in the chat room. We basically have one participating and four just googly eyes on us. Um, Mongo or Postgres SQL?
Just type in the chat room.
Just type in.
I vote Mongo.
No, you vote, but that's okay. I don't really.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, my vote doesn't count. So
Yeah, your vote doesn't count. How can I say what's wrong with Mongo in one sentence?
what's wrong with Mongo? Yeah.
So first for context, um,
Here comes the history.
for context, it is really really nice. So someone says Cassandra. Oh, we can do Cassandra. I mean, I don't
What
have a
is
problem with
Cassandra?
Cassandra.
Never even heard of that.
So here is the deal with Mongo in couple sentences. One is I have a history with Mongo, and that history is not very pleasant. So we had back when I was working for the same company Stevens is working for, a big cluster of MongoDB. And just for context, when people say big cluster and they have a 200 gigabyte database, that's not big. We had a big cluster. So we had, I think, about, let's say, 14 to 25,000 operations a second on the database. And we had about, I don't know, seven something terabytes of data. And the thing with Mongo is that it's really nice to kind of get started and, kind of dip your feet in NoSQL land. But the simplicity of it is also the magic of it and the curse of it. And if you don't think about how to denormalize your data in a way that fits NoSQL, and it is really, really hard if you are a junior engineer, even if you're a senior engineer that you're basically used to a relational database from day one. It's really, really hard to bring yourself to think that, and you shoot yourself in the foot a lot of times. So, I don't really see, it's not that I have a problem with Mongo, I just don't see a use for it anymore. With all the features that Postgres has introduced in the last couple of years, I think Mongo is seriously obsolete. Even if you want to look at NoSQL, Mongo is obsolete. And that's my opinion. I don't represent any company when I say that. That's my opinion and my own opinion only. So we can definitely do Cassandra. I don't have a problem with doing Cassandra. So let's do Postgres.
So do PG. Let's do PG.
Yeah, let's do PG. All right. So let's do PG. Okay?
Yep.
So first things first, let's go back to our project here. So this is our node project. So we are going to add Sequelize. I think that's how it's spelled. No, it's not. It's E.
What do you mean? SQLite? What?
Sequelize.
SQLize.
So Napcats is saying, I've seen Mongo at that scale, but I thought it was good for big data and is PG built for that type of load? So first of all, I've seen PG under more load than that, and it's definitely built for. So here's the deal from someone who has scars from scaling databases. So MySQL will hold up to that scale, no problem. Postgres will hold up to that scale, no problem. If your schema is designed right, your indexes are designed right, and you cache correctly. And you actually, even more important than cache correctly, you query correctly. If you don't do select star from the database, and if you make sure that your varchar columns are in the right length and not 255 by default like all ORMs do. So there's a lot to think about before you go there. And actually, MongoDB in that scale is in ways way more challenging than having like an RDS in that scale. Way more challenging. You need to think about config servers and you need to think about config servers. You need to think about the routing. You need to think about the sharding. You need to think about the replica sets. It's a nightmare. So creative network server and yarn add sequelize. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have sequelize here. And let's do yarn add pg hstore. And we are going to put the database in Docker and not on my local host.
Oh, okay. We're gonna start it with Docker.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. It's fantastic.
So let me just look up Docker Hub. What kind of? So actually, let me pull that here.
So we should have a
go.
Postgres Docker.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So let's do make dir tmp docker creative network pg. Okay, so now let's go here and let's do 9. So 9, we can actually do 9 Alpine. But I want to store the volume. Docker run pg data varly postgres data postgres.
Are you doing something? Because I don't see anything moving in your screen.
So make dir dash p pg data, and then we can run postgres. What do we have here? So we have 9 Alpine. Oh, I actually need the port.
Where is the Docker file? How come you're doing it without a Docker file?
I don't need a Docker file. If I'm using the default. Right, so we need 5432 here. Okay, so here.
I mean,
So let's do here
Docker
dash
run.
p 5432 5432. Well, I didn't customize anything. I'm just running.
I don't get what you're doing here. Like you're running a Docker. What? Which one is the image though?
The image is a public image.
Like what's?
Postgres colon 9 Alpine. That's the image.
Oh, so you're just doing Docker run, and you're mounting the volume var lib Postgres data to Postgres 9 Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you run it, it pulls the image from Docker Hub.
Okay, so we should have a database here. And let's see now what. So let's go here and package JSON. So sequelize. Great. So we have that. So what I want to do is I want to create a database. This option environment variable can be used to define a different name for the default database. So we have a default database, I see. So we have a Postgres user. So actually what will be better is to have a Docker compose YAML file here.
What's the difference between a Docker Compose and a Docker file?
They're completely different. So Docker compose is run and build instructions, and Docker file is just build instructions.
So basically, if you use Docker Compose, you won't need Docker file anymore.
No, you need the Docker file if your Docker container um, is customized, but you don't need that if it's not.
I see.
All right, so, but I don't need to build. So let's see here, Postgres. This is what I want. So let's do this here. Services DB, images Postgres 9 Alpine. I don't care about deployment. All right, so what do I care about? Let's do env here. So we can do that. And we can put this here. All right, so let's see what we need to customize here. So we need Postgres DB, and let's call it Creative Network Dev. What else do we need? PG data. Well, I don't really care about the PG data. We don't care about initdb, Postgres user, and Postgres password. Let's set those. So Postgres password. Remember, this is local, so this is gonna be secret. And Postgres user is creative network dev. What else? So Postgres user, Postgres password, DB data, Postgres data. Okay, awesome. And what do we need here? Volumes. So we need volumes. Right. So data volume. That's not what I want. This is what I want. So let's do this. So this is volumes. And this is PG. Let's do this. PG data. And this is going to be varlib PostgreSQL data. All right.
Okay.
So let's do that, and then Docker compose up. Docker compose YAML is invalid because supported. All right. So this is my problem. So this is volumes, and then Docker compose up.
Oh, I see. It's pretty convenient. So we don't have to do like the bunch of Docker commands, right?
Exactly. All right. One thing I'm missing is ports. Okay, so let's do this. Docker compose. So you see why this is nice, because you don't really. So you do ports, and then you do 5423, I think. 25423. Let's see if I'm correct. So 54232 5432 32 to 5432. All right, so Docker compose up. Okay. Database system shut down.
Shut down. Oh.
Database system is ready to accept connections. Cool. So we are basically live.
So how do we test it? How do we query this database? Like,
so we can do this. So let's go to this is server.js right here. And we have this like hello world. So we can have that in a connect type of deal, right? And then we can have import SQLize from SQLize, right? And then here we'll do just this. So Postgres, and this was creative network dev secret, and this is going to be 0000 5432, and then creative network dev.
What is that secret string? Like, where did you get the secret from?
This is what I set as the password.
Oh. So username is creative network dev. Password is secret. IP address is 0.0 local.
Yeah, and then this is 5432 is the port.
See, I don't get this. How is it 0.0.0?
Because
like,
that's where Docker is binding.
But doesn't Docker have its own IP address?
Not on Docker for Mac.
No, it does. Even Docker for Mac, it has an address.
well, it's binding by default to 0000. So docker ps here. You see 00005432.
So okay, so only if you create a Docker machine or a virtual drive, then it's gonna have its own IP address.
Yep.
Okay, I see. I see.
Okay, so this is hello world, and now let's do /connect. So please install PG module manually. All right, so I thought I did, but let's do it. Yarn. Oh, I missed PG. I did only PG store. I wonder why they're not dependent, but who knows? Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Range error, invalid status code 0. What? Oh, probably need to yarn start. Okay, so I think I know what the problem is. So response.send, and then this should be, so we can't connect to the database now still, but let's do this here. So this is error, and this is here, and then I can remove that. And now let's refresh. Okay, so unable, no PG entry for host 127, user creating network database, SSL off. Okay, so it seems
What is that 1721A?
this is the default IP for Docker from the inside. But let's see here. So you see there is an issue, no PG HBA conf. So this is weird. Yeah, I mean there could be the extra E here. So it definitely could be this, but I don't think that's what it is, because otherwise it would give me the issue for could not authenticate. So you know, it's definitely a good catch, and thank you for that, but that's definitely not the problem.
What are you talking about?
So someone asked a question. So I see a problem here with pg.conf. Postgres configuration, remote connections to true. Okay.
What's the issue?
There is seems like there's an issue. Let's see here. Docker Postgres SQL. Okay, so let's see here. What's the issue? So I want to look at the Docker file for Alpine. You know what? Let's look at the Docker file without Alpine. It's probably on Jesse. Yeah, so it's on Jesse. So you know what? Before I go crazy here, let's try to change this to not run Alpine.
So what do you want to change it to?
I already did. Okay, so it's pulling the new Docker now. Maybe it's a problem with Alpine, but we'll see that in a second. So we have a listen address. So maybe a listen address is also the problem. So Postgres Postgres data checksums, arbitrary user. All right. So this is this, and now it's gonna run. And let's hope now it's gonna be okay. Okay, so let's deconnect. And no, we still get the same issue. No PG entry for host. Okay, so I see what the problem is. The problem is that we don't have remote connection for the outside to Docker.
What do you
So
mean?
so Docker, it's like when you allow when you allow like an SSH for something,
Yeah.
then you need to kind of allow the key, or you need to allow the IP, or it's kind of a firewall kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so you need to add that to Docker as well. So
Like
let's
to the
see,
Docker application or the container?
to a configuration file. So let's see how, if that is supported with PG data. So we have PG data, Postgres DB. Um, so I want to avoid like having my own Docker just for that. But it seems this is what people are doing. Um, so like here, you see this
So it does
PGHPN.
have a Docker file. Yeah.
You see it's kind of giving this.
Oh, he needs his own config file.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe we need one for ourselves as well.
Um, I don't know. I was hoping to avoid that. Um, so I see people are mounting the volume, but I want to avoid all these complications. I just
You don't want to have this file at all.
no, I don't exactly.
You just
um,
don't want this file.
no, exactly. I just don't want it.
Can you mount multiple volumes? Huh?
Just 1 second. So I do see the listen addresses here in the Docker. No, I don't. Um, all right, seems like we need to do it ourselves.
Just have that file.
Yeah, just for that file, I don't see any other way around it. Otherwise, it just doesn't let us do it.
So in Docker, can you mount multiple volumes?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So many words people are writing on like simple stuff. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like you can write so many words, but you can also just solve the issue. All right, so no PG. All right. So let's run this Docker images. Where is it? So Docker run Postgres -it Postgres 9 bean bash cd var Postgres. So where is Postgres installed? Where is Postgres installed? Var lib Postgres. Okay, so that's not the one. So var run. So that's not the one as well. No, not here. Come on. So it's not the data. Yeah, USR share. CD USR share Postgres. There it is. CD 9.6. PG HBA pghba.conf .sample.
Where did you get these sample files?
They're coming with the container.
That's interesting.
So this is, you see, this is what we want. Remove line for non-local. So IPv4 all. So MVHBA HBA to PG HBA.conf. Okay, so let's see if we can get that. All right. The database system is starting up, so this is starting up. So we still don't have that. Right. So the question is,
Still complaining about that thing.
yeah, I see that. Right. So everything here. Okay. Okay. So let's take HBA. So let's take this here and put conf, make dir dash p conf cd vim conf pg hba dot conf and paste this in. So host all auth method host. So I think here we need to do trust. Let me verify this. So instead of 10 this, we need to do 172. Okay. So this here and but 24. So this is 172.0.0.1. And then here in Docker Compose, we'll do USR. So conf to USR share PostgreSQL. 9.6, right? Let's just in case do this. Compose up. Okay. Yeah, this is not what I want.
Oh, so you can reference the configuration file? Oh, that's a volume, right?
Yes.
What happened?
So
Is this file only required in like the Docker environment?
no, it's in every Postgres you need that.
So if we test it outside of Docker, does this work now? Is there any way?
No, we need to edit that file first. Oh, Postgres host.
Oh, did we
Postgres
forget that?
Docker Hub. Let's see. I don't see any reference to host. Postgres image sets up trust authenticated locally, so you may notice a password is not required when connecting from localhost. etc password read only. All right, so so let's do so we have host this one. Docker network. All right, so let's try this.
I still don't fully understand what's the issue we're having now.
The issue is that Docker doesn't let us connect from the outside into the container.
Ah, okay. So it's like the problem we had the other day, but other flipped, right?
Yeah.
So Dimitri has a question. I love watching you, but I still don't know what Docker is.
Um, just 1 second. So let's look at okay, let's try with network mode on host.
Okay.
So it won't let us do that because it
Refuse.
didn't bind the port. So did we change to remove the port? I don't remember changing to remove the port. No, it's still 5432 network mode host. Network mode host port. So let's see. Yeah, prevents port binding in Docker Compose.
Isn't that what we wanted to do? Like we don't want it to bind, or do we want it to bind?
I do. Docker run. How do I make the port? So much like people just write walls of text. No, seriously, man. Seriously. Let's see. Network mode host does not use the network of a host machine. All right, so network mode host doesn't work on the Mac. All right. So, seems like we need to create our own Docker image. I mean, our own Docker
Environment.
Docker file.
Docker
So
file.
yeah, so let's do this here, and then this is Docker file, and let's do the Docker compose here. So this is build of this, and then this is from Postgres 9, and then it's copy of okay, this is crashed. Okay, so this is copy of conf pghba.conf to var to usr share Postgres SQL 9.6 pghba.conf, and let's also copy this outside of 1.6. And then let's look at Docker Hub and the Docker file. And then CMD Postgres. I wonder if I still need those, but anyway, let's put those in. All right, so now compose up will actually build the image, copy the files, run it. Was built, already exists to rebuild, use Docker compose build. Was built because it did not already exist to rebuild. Okay, good. Right, so now we do this. Oh, now I need to do, is it still on network mode host? Docker compose YAML. Network mode is still hosts. So this is compose up. And then here we need to go back to 0000. And now creating network dev. But now, I mean, now I clearly have that. So now this is weird. So let me see that. So this is data. This is not what I want. PGHB host all 127.0.0.124. And this is 127.18. You know what? I can actually do this 32 and build Docker compose build. And then Docker compose up. Okay, connection terminated. So still no. Still no. No PGHB entry for host user creating network databases sell off. So let's see here. Come on, PGHB host all PGHBA conf Docker. Okay, so and okay. So this is that, and then okay. So build. And then Docker compose up.
What did you change?
I changed the authentication method to MD5. It's giving me the same thing. It's like impossible. No host entry. Okay. So let's see what we have here. So this is this, and this is 127.0.0.1. And what I want is 127.18.0.1. So let's do this.
What does MD5 mean?
It's just to make sure that you're using with a password and not without a password.
I see.
All right. These are all right. This is fatigue talking right now. So Docker
Yeah.
run.
So basically, we cannot like Docker is not letting us to connect to it, right? It's not letting us to have a secure connection to go in there. Is that what the problem is?
Um, 59. Well, the problems are multiples. Um, Docker PS, Docker images. Let's see what we have here. So we should have this. So Docker run -it this, and then bean bash. cd usr shell local postgres ls. So we have pghpa here. And it has what we want. So Docker entry point. So I don't see any reference to a configuration here. Okay, so I see Postgres password, if Postgres password, else, oh, oh, I see.
Yeah. PG data PGHA.
So it's overriding what we're doing with the entry point. That's the problem.
What's the problem? I think something is off with your mic.
No, what I'm saying is that this entry point is overriding what we're doing.
Oh, because it creates its own file.
After the fact.
So, but why does it complain that it's missing that file though? If you already create this file.
No, what I'm doing is I'm creating the file, but then this is overriding the file.
Right, yeah, I get it. I see.
So it's overriding the file after the fact. So let's look at the entry point here. This is Postgres. So if we look at 9.6, there's the entry point. And you can look at HBA here, you see? And what you see here is that It's overriding that.
So basically, we can't customize it
The option.
unless unless we mess with this file.
So echo host all. So if PG data, PG version, if PG user, internal start of the server to order to allow setup using PSQL client. Listen address is localhost, which is not really what we want. So listen address should be star. So listen address should be star. And then host all auth method. Auth method should be equal 5. So this is Postgres password. The warning. And then this is the issue here. That's the issue.
When is this file triggered?
So one thing that I would want to check.
Can we write a script to override it?
Yes, of course we can, but you know it's a good thing to find out. So this one, and then build, and then run. So up. So I'm not sure that those changes took effect. And no, they didn't. I mean, nothing changed here. So the database did not regenerate itself. I mean, this file didn't regenerate itself. So here's the thing. Let's leave it at that. And tomorrow we're gonna create one from scratch that is gonna be based on this one.
Okay.
Unhandled error event. All right. I don't know what that means. So this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, the app crashed now, so we're not really seeing the thing. And tomorrow, what we're gonna do is, not tomorrow, but the next time we stream, is we're gonna build on top of the Postgres one to allow us to connect from outside of Postgres.
So we're gonna build the. What are we going to build?
We're gonna build one from scratch.
Before we go, let's recap. Like, I just want to fully understand the problem we're having right now because you're going like really fast, and
I'm gonna write the blog post about it tomorrow.
Okay, please, because this is a little bit over my head actually.
All right, so let's tomorrow I'm gonna write the blog post about it, and then we're gonna recap there.
Awesome. Okay, all right, man. Thanks.
All
talk
right.
to you tomorrow.
All right, thank you guys for in the chat room, and see you probably next week. Bye bye.